Good evening, Commonwealth. Thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Chris Nelson. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. We all know you have to take your shoes off at airports, but you won't believe this new invasion of privacy. Also tonight, DPS looking for a local man suspected of kidnapping and impersonating a police officer. And the nicest little hotel in Saipan opens up and gives people a local look, local feel, and local art. In sports, two top tennis teams square off at the TAN Tennis Tournament. Lots of tea. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
"48 hours. That's all we get in a week. But those 48 hours, we try to make them last forever. How? By filling in fast with all the right stuff. With a lot of laughter, a little drama, some adventure, and a whole lot of love."
Dad, Mom's here.
It happens pretty quick,
Bye, Dad.
but it's cool. Because the rest of the week, we talk about our plans
You want to go to the beach?
on how to make the next 48 hours last us a lifetime.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle. Hafadeh Tirwami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, November the 25th, 2019. Last Thursday at 5 p.m., an additional search warrant was served on the headquarters of IPI. As the investigation continues, Governor's Chief of Staff, Angel Demapon, says the governor is working full-time today, a meeting with legislators. Sally Lemus reports from Capitol Hill.
Governor has, been from the very beginning been very cooperative to the investigation. At this point, he's focusing on really just his obligations and his responsibility as governor. So he has come back to work fully and is just focusing on whatever task of the day that's before the office of the governor. And he will continue to do that until such time that we have new information.
This afternoon, the governor and lieutenant governor met with members of the House and Senate.
Both governor and lieutenant governor met with the officers of the House and Senate. And primarily it was to discuss legislation that's pending in the legislature to make some revisions to the current budget law, particularly for the life and health insurance payments for the judiciary and the legislature. That was an issue that was deficient in the current budget when it was passed, and so governor exercised his line item veto on that provision, and so they're in the process of correcting that deficiency through another legislation to revise the budget.
Thanks, Sally. A woman who grew up on Saipan, studied at a prestigious Japanese university, went to graduate school in Singapore, and worked for a think tank in Hong Kong, says she was recently forced to take a pregnancy test in an airport bathroom or be denied boarding on a flight from Hong Kong to Saipan. Midori Nishida has been working recently at a think tank in Hong Kong. She grew up here, was a top local scholar, and attended Waseda University. Her recent trip home from Hong Kong gave her an arresting experience.
On a recent flight coming back to Saipan, I took Hong Kong Express from the Hong Kong airport. And when I was checking in at the airport, they notified me that I had to take a medical test in order to board my flight. And I just thought, well, in all my years flying, back and forth, Saipan and even the US, I've never encountered this kind of policy.
She says the medical test was actually a pregnancy test, and though they told her it was random, it was not.
They told me that it was a random test, so they just chose any random female passenger to comply with this test. But when I looked more carefully at the medical form that they asked me to sign, it turns out it wasn't actually random, but based on the observation of the staff that they had suspicion that I looked like I could be pregnant.
Is this administered by a doctor? How does it work?
Well, they told me that it was going to be administered by a medical practitioner, and it was actually a pregnancy test. So that's what it was. But when the staff came to administer the test, there was no way for me to verify whether that person was actually a medical practitioner, because first of all, she wasn't wearing any uniform whatsoever. So she was just wearing normal clothing. She looked just like any other passenger that could be at the airport. And second of all, she didn't have any identification. So I had no idea who this person was, whether they're actually a staff of Hong Kong Express or a licensed practitioner. So there was no way for me to verify except for just based on what they said.
How did you feel? I mean, taking a pregnancy test is a very personal thing. How are you feeling inside when they ask you to do this?
Well, at first I was really shocked and confused. As I said, this is unheard of. And after going through the form that they asked me to sign, I started feeling humiliated and very angry, because this is obviously not a random test. You've decided to make me take this test based on what you observed was me possibly being pregnant. And I thought, that's if I have to be honest, it seems discriminatory towards a person's appearance.
Somebody eyeballed you and said, hey, she could be pregnant, we're going to ask her to take a test. Do you think that's what somebody profiled you? Because you certainly don't look pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as slim as I hope to be, but when I reached the airport check-in counter, they just told me that, oh, you have to take this medical test.
Nishida took the test. She says she really had no choice if she wanted to board the plane and come back home to see her parents, and she is not pregnant. Last year, about half of the babies born on Saipan were born to Chinese mothers, many of the moms coming to Saipan in their 7th or 8th month and using the 45-day window to stay here and deliver a baby that is born a U.S. citizen. It's not illegal, but it is controversial. A few weeks ago, the 45-day stay limit was reduced to 14 days. Nishida knows all of this, and she also knows that airlines do not want late-term pregnant moms to be at risk of delivering in flight, but she does want some answers. Does a pregnancy test say how many weeks pregnant that you are?
No, which is why I wondered, even if they did administer the test, how would they know how many weeks pregnant I was? And also the fact that this test was done in a public area. It was done in a public restroom within the Hong Kong airport. And I was alone at the stall at the time when I took the test. So I wonder, if someone wanted to, kind of find some loophole, it could easily be done, because the way they administer the test doesn't guarantee that the results are actually accurate.
So you think this is something Hong Kong Express is doing on their own?
Well, they told me that they were doing this test at the request of the U.S. immigration. So I found that very interesting, because they said that they were doing this as a result of the U.S. immigration requesting them to, but couldn't find any information about that. So it makes me wonder, who is really behind this policy.
Nishida says she's not looking at any legal action. She has reached out to Hong Kong Express. She does want some answers. She's reached out twice now. We will have more with her later in the week. How would you feel if you had $18,000 in your company account and the bank says you are suddenly overdrawn? Ashley McDowell has the court report. Ashley?
That's right, Chris. A male is arrested for 36 counts of misuse of a company's debit card, depleting about $18,000. 31-year-old Clifford Palacios is an employee of Inter-Island Transport Company repair shop in the village of Afetnis. Police say the owner of the repair shop went to the First Hawaiian Bank to cash a check when he was informed the company account is overdrawn. When the victim reviewed the company's bank statements, it showed multiple transactions to the Western Union and Google Supercell worth about $18,000. Documents show statements from the bank also revealed that it was Palacios who made the 36 Western Union transactions with the company debit card. Palacios is charged with misuse of financial instrument. Cash bail is set at $20,000. And the Department of Public Safety is searching for a male who is facing charges of robbery, kidnapping, impersonating an officer, and disturbing the peace. According to a release, DPS received a 911 call on July 12th reporting theft in Canatabla. The caller stated a male, later identified as Daniel Munya Kitugwa, entered his home, took his passport, forced him into a vehicle, and drove him to the DMV. Kitugwa led the victim to believe he was an undercover officer and drove him around the island before returning to the victim's home. Kitugwa demanded the victim pay $700, where he took off with the cash in a white-colored RAV4. Officers tracked the license plate to a car rental company. The release states officers have made several attempts to interview Kitugwa since July, but he never showed. Judge Joseph Camacho has issued an arrest warrant with a cash bail of $25,000. If you see Kitugwa or know his whereabouts, call 911, or to remain anonymous, call the CNMI Crime Stoppers hotline at 234-7272.
Thanks, Ashley. Triple J has officially opened the Surfrider Hotel in Chalankanoa. The hotel features local art, comfortable beds, and access to one of the top beaches on Saipan. And it's also going to help resurrect the surrounding village of CK. It was an emotional day on Friday for 84-year-old Bob Jones, who was here at the beginning of the NMI's tourism industry and hasn't lost a step along the way. Our Sally Lemus reports.
1, 2, 3.
Triple J officially opened the doors of the Surfrider Hotel on Friday as their commitment to enliven the village of Chalankanoa.
Like my father said, he's been working on this a long time. He's really committed to the Chalankanoa area. He's lived here for 40 years in this area, and so he's kind of had this vision for a long time. There used to be the Pacific Gardenia here, and years ago, my wife and I, when we visited here, we used to stay at the Pacific Gardenia, and so it has a lot of great memories, this area.
According to General Manager Ruwei Kono, the hotel has 3 wings, 52 rooms, and a governor's suite. Upon entering the hotel, Lottie Stone-inspired pillars welcome guests and is the hotel's unique touch of island interior. Governor Ralph Torres commended the Jones family for bringing investments into the village of Chalankanoa.
Especially after the typhoon, right, we're always short of rooms. Now this is adding 51 additional rooms to the inventory. On the way it's built, I mean, you have it here at CK. It's a great investment. Well, some of the investment are focused south or far north. You have it here in basically the heart of Saipan, which is a good environment and good to increase the land value, the surroundings, and I hope that the surrounding companies' investments increase and build some sort of this kind of standard. So again, I just want to say congratulations to the Jones family for continued investment here on the island.
Congressman J.P. Sablon also says the Surfrider Hotel gives value to the precinct and is hopeful this will be a start to create a high-standard business area in the village.
I feel so grateful. This is very welcoming. Buildings like this with the standards is really very welcoming and it puts value in our precinct.
Bob Jones, CEO and chairman of Triple J, says the construction of the hotel took a bit longer than expected after burial sites were found. But after properly collecting and reburying the bones, he is excited about the opening of the hotel.
It's a wonderful afternoon to celebrate the grand opening of the Surfrider Hotel. And so we're proud of the fact that we have Surf Club on the same property, beautiful beach, and also the Great Harvest Bakery is here as well.
This is Sally Lemis for KSPN News.
It's really nice. Thanks, Sally. No further cases of dengue fever have been identified in the CNMI, and the CHCC, Bureau of Environmental Health, is working to make sure it stays that way. 9 staff members of BEH participated in a pesticide applicator training course and received certification, according to CHCC. Training was conducted by the Bureau of Environmental and Coastal Quality's pesticide program and included training in pest management, chemical formulation, and application. BEH staff are now able to purchase and apply pesticide products if dengue or any other vector-borne illness appears. Coming up, PSS dedicates 1 week to all those in the education system and the progress made throughout the years. More news next.
ITNI's data was still working. It was easier for us to communicate with Hamni. We would video call, show them around, like this is how bad it hit Rhoda. During the typhoon, when we were struggling to get back on our feet, ITNI pushed back the date for when to pay your bill. They were helping us so that we don't have to spend the money. Instead of using it for the bill, we used it to help us to get back on our feet. I'm Vaina Lizama and I'm with the network that works.
Watch the Visitors Channel online, on time, anytime at SAIPANTV.com. Where to go, what to see, what to do, restaurants, spas, activities, and culture. It's all in one place, in high definition, on your mobile device. SAIPANTV.com. Check it out.
Welcome back. You're watching the Monday night edition of the Channel 2 News.
The judiciary have limited hours today and tomorrow as the annual Professional Development and Employee Recognition Series is taking place. It's a celebration of all things judiciary. It's the Professional Development Series for staff of the court.
So we have different groups. In this session right now, it's Discovering the Marianas for people new to the island. It's all about self-care. We have another session going on that goes over features of Microsoft, like OneDrive and Microsoft Word. And we have another session in which the justices and judges get together with the managers and discuss, their concerns, their achievements, and all those sorts of things.
Bringing improvements to the judiciary system.
They learn a host of things. So, for instance, many employees are going to be learning how to use their smartphone more efficiently, how to use things like OneDrive, which is a cloud feature. I'm not that familiar with cloud. I should be in that meeting right now. Or tomorrow we have courtroom security. Our marshals are going to be going over courtroom security and how that affects the judiciary.
But what makes this development series unique is the 30-year anniversary of the CNMI Supreme Court.
So it's kind of special this year. There is going to be a presentation on the judiciary, a review of the last 30 years. And at the end of this, both the 2-day conference or training, professional development, there will be awards, and we're highlighting the achievements of employees, of court staff, and persons who have contributed to ensuring justice for all.
It's officially Education Week here in the CNMI, which celebrates public education and hard work of everyone in the system.
The CNMI Board of Education held a proclamation signing declaring this week as Education Week during their monthly meeting on Capitol Hill.
Education Week is the time that all schools celebrate in regards to the teachers, administrators, to include the bus drivers and whatnot, that they have provided and given the students the opportunity, especially the foundation of education, and also to display their passion in educating the students to strengthen their future for their educational growth, emotional and social growth as well. So it's really critical that we do acknowledge them on this educational week.
The proclamation states that Education Week is about celebrating the accomplishments of students, teachers, teacher aides, support staff, and administrators. The CNMI public school system also recognizes all school community members and island leaders for their contribution to the development of the education system.
I applaud each and every one of them. They work so hard. They deserved, unfortunately, we're in the austerity, mode right now. However, money is not just the award for recognition. Recognizing an individual or individuals within the system and acknowledging the accomplishment that they did or have done or doing is really a great reward for them too. And it's nice knowing or seeing rather teachers when when I meet with them and I said, you're doing a great job. It really means a lot to them.
Reporting for KSPN, I'm Sally Lemis.
Thank you, Sally. Coming up, you know what week this is? This is Turkey Week. So wake up, all you turkeys.
Faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps, all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
Good evening and welcome to Channel 2 Health Talk. I'm Dr. Tony Stearns of Marianas Medical Center. Tonight we begin a series of health talks on nutrition and the important role that good nutrition plays in health and longevity. We all want to be healthy and to live a long time, and I'm convinced that whether or not each of us achieves that goal depends in large part on us and what we choose to do. It depends on the choices we make each and every day throughout life. Whether or not we smoke, drink alcohol to excess, or take drugs, whether or not we exercise, wear our seatbelts, practice safe sex, all of these choices have an effect on our long-term health because each has consequences that can be either good or bad for our health. I believe that in terms of health and disease and how long we live, the most important choice we make throughout life has to do with what we put in our mouths, what we choose to eat or not eat, and how much we eat. Eating more fruits and vegetables, whole grains and nuts, and cutting way back on animal products, fats, and processed grains and sugar is the key to healthier eating and healthier living. In the upcoming weeks and months, I'll be addressing these issues of choice, and I'll be offering suggestions as to what each and every one of us can do to make healthier choices, to improve our health, and to increase the chance that we live longer and healthier. Remember, it's never too late to make changes in your lifestyle, and it's never too late to start eating healthier. I'm Dr. Tony Stearns of Marianas Medical Center. Join me again next week for another Channel 2 Health Talk.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, NMI Tennis enjoyed an epic, even historical match yesterday in the Tan Holdings Tennis Classic. The Tan Holdings Tennis Classic was so big it took 2 weekends and 2 venues to accommodate all the matches. The men's 5.0 championship turned out to be an instant classic. The island's 2 top players both happened to be 17 years old and in the senior year of their high school. Carol Lee and Robbie Shore were teammates on the NMI Pacific Games tennis team that won gold and silver medals last summer.
We need to recognize these people. In all the years that we've been playing tennis in the games since 1976, we never won a medal in tennis. This year in the Pacific Games, we won 3 gold medals and 1 silver medal. Put them on, guys, put them on. It's okay. So these players played unbelievable tennis. And my friend Robbie Shore here played the key role.
Because of her high level of playing skill and the need for competition, Carol was in the men's division where she advanced to the finals to face Robbie. Not a big deal here, but once upon a time, a guy playing a girl was a big deal. When men's master player, 55-year-old Bobby Riggs, challenged Billie Jean King, the world's #1 woman in the world, it created a storm of attention and controversy. Labeled the Battle of Sexes, the internationally televised event from the Houston Astrodome was a rating success. King won in straight sets. Carol had heard about that match, but never thought about it when she was facing Robbie in a game for the first time.
Did you know who Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King were?
Yes.
Well, did you ever think of that before this match?
No, but now I do. Yeah. Yeah.
First set, Robbie hitting to Carol's forehand and gets the unforced error. Carol serving, Robbie reaches, but not enough to get a good return. Carol just came back from a quick trip to Atlanta. Jet lag? Well, doesn't look like it there. Carol serves, Robbie pins her to the back line and comes in for the drop shot, a skillfully executed shot.
Oh, beautiful.
Here's a volley that ends with Robbie's strong cross-court winner. More fine net play from Robbie. He won the first set 7-5. Wow. Robbie will graduate from SAIPAN International School in 6 months, hoping to play college tennis. He should put this clip in his video resume. That's a deft shot that catches Carol off guard.
Wow, there you go.
Pressure tennis all the way to the end. Carol rallied to take the second set 7-5 and then wins a marathon tiebreaker 11-9, taking the Tan Holdings men's championship over Robbie.
It was a tough, grueling match. Shout out to Carol for just playing great and giving me a great fight. It was a great match.
What do you think the difference? Where did it turn? You were playing good and made some good shots. You made some incredible shots. What do you think the difference was?
I mean, it's just like the big points. I think Carol took more solid than I was, especially in the super when I came back. And she still held her nerve and was able to close it out.
Most of the time, mental in our heads. It was mentally like who was the strongest mentally and physically.
Carol, who's homeschooled, has breaking good news.
I was visiting Georgia Tech in Atlanta, Georgia.
Any news for us?
Yes, I'm in. I didn't sign in yet because I have to take my SAT and finish high school, but I got a scholarship from them.
She set goals for herself years ago, and that plan is coming to fruition.
Baby steps. So first, getting to college, Division I is one of my goals, and also ITF Juniors being 125, one of my goals as well, to be top 200. And yeah.
You're doing it.
Still doing it.
Congratulations to Carol. Go Yellow Jackets. All right, who's going to be the early birds to gobble up this year's turkey trot? You're wondering? The year's most fulfilling, or should we say filling race, the annual Thanksgiving turkey trot will turn 36. It's pretty old. Thursday morning, it's a 4.2 mile all uphill run/walk from the Public Works Beach to the top of Mount Tapachao from sea level to 1,555 feet. Registration will start at 5 o'clock at lower base. Race will start at 6. That's in the dark. Sunrise that day, by the way, 6:25. Cost only $10 for the adults, $5 for 18 and under. Winners will get turkeys, and more importantly, they can be seen Friday on the KSPN2 Sports Report. All right, that'll do it for sports, but not the weather. We've got the latest news about that next.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Let's roll at Gold's Gym SAIPAN with group exercise for every body. Total Resistant Exercise, or TRX, helps develop your core and improve strength. And Zumba toning is probably the funnest way to get fit. The Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplements. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Today's high 86, the low 75, humidity 65%. Tomorrow we got mostly cloudy skies, some isolated showers, northeast winds 15 to 25 miles an hour, quite brisk. High 86, low 76, high surf advisory in effect for the rest of this week. Seas rough out there, 10 to 12 feet. Sunrise 6:24 in the morning, a high tide at 7:47, low tide 1:22, sunset at 5:44. 5:44 sunset.
All right, so is she going to Georgia Tech? Is that her plan?
Yeah, she's got to take the SAT and do all the paperwork and everything. But they asked her, she's got the offer. And
that's great.
Yeah, so she's going. She's planning to go. That's great. Our first Division I girl tennis player.
Is it?
Oh no, Kana Akawa, right? University of Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
so our
Division
second.
I. But what a tournament this weekend, and what a tennis program. Jeff Race keeps churning out.
Churning them out, and Robbie going to go to college too, but he hasn't picked it yet. And I think during December maybe he'll make some visits.
All right, that is news, sports, and weather on this Monday in the Commonwealth. Thanks for watching, and good night.
Good night.